What's up guys, it's Garrett here. Okay, I've been getting tons of requests to do a video on individual stock analysis, and I promise you I'm going to get to it on a future video very soon. But before I do that, I want to discuss one of the most important financial concepts that I've ever learned, which is understanding compound interest. Seriously, understanding and applying compound interest in your own financial life is the difference of making twice as much over the course of your lifetime than you would have if you didn't understand and apply these concepts. So make sure that you watch this video to the very end. It's going to help you out so much, and I'm excited to see your success. Now, the concept of compound interest is pretty simple, but the problem is for most people, it's just not taught. It's not taught in high school, and for the most part, it's not taught in college either, unless you are majoring in some sort of business course, especially finance. In the words of Albert Einstein, he says, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." In this video, I'll be explaining what is compound interest, how does it work, why it's important to get started right now, and how to get started. So let's get right into it. Compound interest, or compounding interest, is interest calculated on the initial principal, which also includes all accumulated interest from the previous periods on either a deposit or a loan. In simpler terms, compound interest is interest on interest. So you earn interest on money that has previously earned you interest. Now, this may not seem that exciting, but it kickstarts a very powerful cycle that will create a life of exponential financial growth for you. Listen, I know this can be a bit confusing. It was pretty confusing for me when I first started learning this, but I'm going to show you some examples that should help you to more easily understand these concepts. But before we get into this, we have to understand what simple interest is. And also, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, it would mean the world to me if you could just hit subscribe below and give me a thumbs up if you're getting some sort of value at the end of this video. Or do it right now if you like the content so far. So simple interest versus compound interest. What are the differences? Why are they important? And how do they work? So simple interest is the interest that is accrued from the principal balance or the initial investment, and that's it. So let's say our initial investment is $5,000 and we want to invest it into the stock market for the next 20 years. Let's say we put it into what's called the S&P 500, which is a collection of 500 largest stocks or companies publicly traded. Now, these companies include Amazon, Google, Facebook, and now Tesla. And the S&P 500 over the course of 90 years has given a yield or return of 9.8% yearly average return. That would mean after year one, your interest earned would be $490. After year two, another $490. After year three, interest earned would be $490. And then after year 20, you guessed it, another $490. So that would mean that your overall total earned interest is $9,800 on your $5,000 investment, which would make your future value $14,800. Guys, that's not that bad, but wait until you see what compound interest at work does for your portfolio. All right, so we're gonna take the same example that we did before, but we're gonna apply compound interest. So essentially at the end of each investing period or year, we're gonna reinvest the earnings back into our stock portfolio. Again, we're gonna invest the $5,000 into the S&P 500. The only difference is we're going to compound it, which means taking the earnings and reinvesting it. So at the end of year one, just like we had it in the simple interest example, we're gonna have $490 of interest earned. But after year two, we're gonna have $538.02 earned, and we're gonna reinvest that. And then after year three, we're gonna have $590.75 earned, and we're gonna reinvest that. We're gonna do this all the way up to year 20. And at year 20, we're gonna have $2,894.95 earned in that year. And the total interest earned is $27,435.22. The future value is going to be $32,435.22. So that means simply just reinvesting your earnings each and every year and taking advantage of compound interest is going to earn you twice as much money as you would if you didn't do this practice. It's that important, guys. It takes the same amount of time same amount of energy and the same amount of money to earn twice as much money. So now that we understand compound interest, it's very important to understand a very critical component of compound interest, which is time. All right, in this example, I'm gonna show you why it's so very important to get started investing and doing compound interest as soon as possible. Like, do it right now. Actually, do it at the end of this video so you can watch all the way through at the end. But seriously, guys, when you get off this video and when you get all this information, definitely set yourself up on an account. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that later in this video. All right, so in the next couple examples, I'm going to show you why time is so very important into this equation and why you should get started immediately doing investing and doing compounding interest. One example is going to be if you start at age 20, and the other example is going to be at age 30. And let's say you want to retire by age 60. So in the first example, I'm going to pull up what's called the compound interest calculator, which I'm going to put in the link below. And I'm just going to pop in some numbers. Of course, you're going to start at age 20. The amount of time that you're going to invest because you want to retire at age 60 is 40 years. And you're going to invest in the S&P 500. So you're going to get an average return of 9.8% over the next 40 years. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is once a year, we're gonna take all of the interest earned and we're gonna put it back in. So we're gonna reinvest it into the S&P 500. I'm gonna hit calculate, and it looks like the total investment contribution comes out to $144,000. The future value of this is $1,509,124.84. Seriously, investing $5 a day can make you a millionaire. If you told me that 5 years ago, I would not believe you. But take a look at this chart, guys. I mean, you're seeing exponential increase as time goes on. That is the curve that I'm talking about and the cyclical approach that takes. When you reinvest your earnings, you're going to see that parabolic shape that's happening as time goes on. And of course, the more time that you invest in the stock market, the S&P, and continuously compound that interest, the more money that you're going to earn across your lifetime. Now, in all honesty, you're probably not starting when you're 20 years old. And if you're starting, obviously sooner the better. I didn't start doing this until I was, like 25, 26 years old. And I'm 27 right now. And I wish I started earlier, and that's kind of why I'm creating this video, is to show you the importance of doing it when you're young, because it's just going to make your earning potential so much higher. But listen, let's say you're not going to do it when you're 20 and you want to hold off and say, hey, I have nothing but time, YOLO, or like, hey, I like spending $5 on a cup of Starbucks coffee rather than investing in my future, and you wait until you're 30 years old. All right, so here's an example. Taking a look at the chart if you start at 30 years old. So exactly the same contribution, you're gonna put $300 in, or $5 a day into the S&P 500. And because you wanna retire at age 60, instead of 40 years, like if you start at 20 years, you're gonna have 30 years to invest. So we're gonna put the length of time in years, it's going to be 30, and we're gonna compound the interest annually. And when I hit calculate, the total investment is going to be, again, $144,000, same amount of total as we had before, but the future value is going to be $570,206.52. Guys, that is like a third of what you would have if you did the compound interest and started 10 years earlier. I mean, if that doesn't show you that you should be starting as soon as possible, I don't know what will. And it's not too late to start. You're never too late to start doing compound interest. I'm just trying to show you that starting sooner is better than starting later. And even a little bit of money to put in, and let's say you only have like $20 to put in each month, you're just gonna be so much better off putting in as much as you can into the S&P 500 and following the practices of compound interest. All right, guys, so if we look at the chart, we can see, again, exponential growth, but it's capped right at that year 30 mark because you want to retire at age 60. Now, you could retire at age 70 and have that gain, but you're also pulling that money out when you're 10 years older. I mean, let's say you live to be even 100. Instead of having 40 years of utilizing that money and doing the things that you love, providing for your family, and going out on trips, being on the beach, and really maximizing the money that you work so hard at creating, you only have 30 years. or you miss out on that growth and you miss out on almost $1 million. The importance of this is start as soon as you can investing and compounding your interest, because it's going to make your earning potential just so much higher. And even if you don't have that $300 to invest, or maybe you don't have it right now, just getting in the habit of managing your money effectively and putting your money into the S&P 500 and using the skill set of compound interest is going to help you out so much. And I want you to create the life that you deserve. All right, so now it's the moment that you've all been waiting for, which is how to start investing and where should you put your money. Okay, so you can open up your 401k or Roth IRA. I'm gonna do a video on this very shortly of the benefits of Roth IRA and 401k, which are the most popular investment accounts for retirement. So stay tuned, it's gonna come out very, very shortly. Or you could just open up a brokerage account. So that could be with Robinhood, free link below to get a free stock. So by clicking that link below, you can sign up, and once you sign up, I get a free stock and you get a free stock. Or you could do Webull, you could do Thinkorswim, which is a TD Ameritrade. There's a ton of different applications. I encourage to do some research on those different platforms and choose the ones that's best for you. And then lastly, guys, do not keep most of your money in the savings bank, because you're actually going to lose money because of inflation. So the inflation amount is 2.5% each year. So let's say that you have $100 in your savings account. It's going to actually go down by $2.50 each year. So if you just store your money, it's not a way to make money. It doesn't even matter if there's a high yield account. You're better off putting it into the S&P market in an investment account. As we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways. First, don't waste time and start investing as soon as possible. Open up a brokerage account using my Robinhood link below so that you get your first free stock. And then also invest in S&P 500 companies. And lastly, what you want to really do is you want to reinvest your earnings each year and put it back into your portfolio so that you can take advantage of compound interest. Now, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And for further information, follow me on TikTok at Garrett the Investor, or also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I appreciate you guys so much. I just want to see you guys be so successful, and welcome to the journey, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.